Today I'm going to discuss about the for loop container. What is the usage of the for loop container? Okay, and what about for each loop container? Okay, how to create a
Okay.
temporary tables in SSIS? Okay, and how
Okay.
can we use the temporary tables? Okay, so there are three containers in SSIS control flow. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so what are those three containers? One is sequence
Parallel.
container,
Parallel.
another one is for
Mm-hmm.
loop container, and third one is for each loop container. So this sequence container is just for grouping the tasks. So we are not configuring anything, nothing is there to configure also, nothing is there. Okay, so this is only for grouping the tasks. So you can consider 3 to 4 or many number of tasks inside this sequence container, and that is one business unit of work, and you consider as a it's a one unit of work to execute. So what about the for loop container? So the for loop container is behaving like same for loop in our SQL server. For example, my requirement is I'm going to create one variable. So that variable name is, so I'm going to give serial number. Okay, so this is the variable I have created. So inside here I want to loop this. For example, I want to put one execute SQL task inside this for loop container. So my agenda is I want to execute this execute SQL task 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
I want to execute this 10 times. So that means this for loop has to loop 10 times. So you have to write down that condition inside. See, initial expression. Initial expression means, so what is your variable? So the variable number is serial number equal to, I'm going to give initial value 1. And what is the evolution expression means? So until this serial number less than 5, sorry, this number I'm going to give 10. Okay, until this is 10, so that expression will loop, sorry, 1 only, and I'm going to add the serial number one value increment every time. Okay, so this serial number starting value is 1 until this serial number less than, it will reach until it reaching the greater than 10 or equal 10, it will loop. And this assign expression means for each loop I'm going to add one value. Okay, first the value is 1, and again it will add one value 2, again it will add 3 looping 3 until the number will reach the 10, it will loop the 10 times. Understood? It is a simple
In the,
for loop.
yeah. In the expression, I think we have to give serial number less than equal to 10 or less than equal to 10, right? If you want 10 times.
Yeah, yeah, less than, yeah, maybe less than or equal, we'll see, either it is less
Okay.
than or less than or equal. So
Okay,
here
okay.
I'm going to just insert into ename values ram. Okay, this value I want to insert, how many times it will execute? 10 times. So you have to create the new connection.
Connection. Yeah.
So already I have the connection, you can use the same connection. So if you are executing this one, it will execute this execute SQL task 10 times. It will insert that name employee name ram 10 times.
Okay. Mm.
We'll see here. Select start from ename is my table. I want to truncate this table before loading. nothing is there. So if you are executing this one, I'm going to execute only this container. Right click, execute
Yeah.
container. It is starting the execution.
Yeah.
Yes. So total 10 times this is executed, this executes equal task. Okay. So basically you have created the variable is serial number only. But whenever you are mentioning that variable here, so you have to put at the rate of.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the one thing you have to remember always. So this is the for loop container, and so this is we are defining initially how many number of times it is going to loop. Okay.
Okay.
So you know this will run 10 times, right? Because you are writing the condition. So based on that condition, it will loop that for loop, and it will execute that many number of times whatever the task you are putting inside here. Okay. Right. So before we are going to discuss about this for each loop container, I want to tell precedence constraints in SQL Server. Okay. So what exactly precedence constraints? Any idea, Swati?
It's like a connection between control flow tasks
Yes. So the
where
precedence
what it is exactly.
yeah, the precedence constraints are the links between each task. See, this is
Yeah.
the
Okay.
so which task you want to execute first, and after which task you want to execute next. For example, see, I'm going to take one more execute SQL task.
File system task. Mm.
Yeah, you can take that one also. So this
Yeah.
execute
Yeah.
SQL task will truncate the table. What table? Ename table.
Okay.
So truncate ename. Okay. So my
Yes.
agenda is first I want to execute this execute SQL task. If it is success, then only I want to go to execute this for loop container. So where you have mentioned that condition, see the link between this execute SQL task and this for loop container is green color, right? So if you are just clicking on the
Yeah.
link, the constraint evaluation operation constraint is success.
Yes.
Whenever this execute SQL task status is success, then only it will execute this task. If you want to execute another task, for example, if it is fail, what will happen? It won't execute this one. It don't go forward
Yes.
if it is
Yes.
fail, because you have mentioned the condition only success, then only you want to move here, right? If it is fail, what you want to do? So I want to do send a mail. Whenever this
Yes.
task getting fail, I want to send a mail, yes, this particular package getting failure. So where you have to mention that condition? Failure condition.
Okay.
See,
Oh. Okay.
whenever this is getting fail, that means red color. So automatically this will execute in this path, and if it is success, it will come here. Okay. And one more condition you have, that is whether it is a success
Completion.
or failure, whatever. If the execution is completed, success or failure, whatever, I want to execute another task. That condition you have to specify completion. If it is success, it will come here. If it is failure, it will come here. If it is completed, whether it is success or failure, it will come here. If I am executing now, what are the tasks it will execute? Can you please tell me? If I am
First for loop container.
okay,
No, first execute
First
SQL.
execute.
Then if it is
Yeah.
success, then it will come to the for loop container.
okay. So you mean first it will execute this one, then it will come here and it will execute this one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and also it will execute this one also,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah.
because this condition is completion condition. Yes, whether it's
Yeah.
success or
Yeah,
failure,
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? It is this is success. That means execution completed. It don't
Yeah, yeah.
mind about the status, so it will execute both this one and this one. First it will execute this one, and then success it will execute this one and as well this one. It don't go to the failure. If it is failure, for example, this task getting failure, so what are the tasks it will execute? What are the links it will execute? What is the workflow? It is a fail.
First failure. First, if it is the execute SQL fail, then it will go to the sendmail task
Mhm.
and file system task also, because it completes with the
Yes,
errors.
completion. Okay, right. So I'm going to write down one condition here. These should be status success, as well as I'm going to write down one condition. The serial number, see here, this serial number, if it is 10, then only I want to execute this one.
Okay.
The status is the evolution, the constant value is success, as well as here I'm going to write down one expression. The expression is the serial number at the rate of serial number equal to 10, then only I want to.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to take
Okay.
expression and constraint.
Okay.
So it has to satisfy both. First it has to get the status success, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the condition you are going to write down here, that should be. So the
Yeah.
condition I'm going to write down at the rate of serial number equal to 10.
Mm-hmm.
It yes, expression validated successfully. Okay, the rate of serial number equal to 10. So this status should become success, as well as this variable should have value 10. Okay, click OK. So now I'm going to execute this package. Right, because this getting success status as well as the condition it is satisfying 10. If I'm making this is 9, what will happen?
Mm.
Now what will happen?
Yeah. If
It will
9.
execute. I mean, if we make greater than 10, then it may be giving any exception like that.
Now the condition is the first task should be executed successfully and the serial number should be equal to 9. But the serial number here it is 10. So it is not equal. So this second condition
Yeah.
is not satisfying. But you have to satisfy this expression and this constraint. Both should
Yeah.
be satisfied. Then only it will go forward. Okay, I'm going to execute.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
It don't go forward.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So instead of this and, I'm going to write down or condition. Understood?
Yeah. Now it will.
What will happen now?
Now it will execute.
Yes, any of one condition is satisfying, either it is success or the expression true, then it will satisfy any of one condition, because you are
Yeah.
mentioning or. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is about the precedence constraints. based on the expression and constant value, you can decide the workflow execution. So what is the task you are going to execute based on the result? Okay,
Okay.
understood? Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to explain about the for each loop container. I have some Excel files in a folder. So in this folder, these are the three files I have: emp1.xlsx, emp2.xlsx, emp3. There are three files are there.
Okay.
Okay, and each file having employee number, employee name, salary, and data is there. So these here 100, 200, 300. This is the data, and in the second file I have 300, again 400. Okay, if you want to make
Okay.
800 also, yes, you can make. Swati. Okay, so the same way
Okay.
in this third file also. In this way you can put any number of files, 100, 200, 300, any number. Okay, you can copy the file to this folder. So I want to loop these files and I want to load this emp1 data, emp2 data, emp3 data into this SQL Server table. What is the table name? So I want to load the data into emp loading table. Okay, self
Okay.
star from emp loading table. Okay. I want to truncate this one before we are going to load, right?
Yeah.
Yes. For truncating, you can take one execute SQL task. Why we are going to do manually? You can
Yeah,
take
you
one
can use
sequence
that.
container, take one sequence container, and always should give the names. Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
write down the description. What purpose you are going to use this one? Okay,
Load Excel files.
looping Excel files from folder to emp loading table. Okay, because the next time whenever the developer is coming, he can easily understand, and you can write down the descriptions here also. Endnote, add annotation.
And
Okay, this
yeah.
package will loop help files and loading the employee information. Okay, so this is the description. Whenever
Annotate.
you are opening, this will give a clear picture. Okay, first I'm going to take one execute SQL task. So this will, you have to write down everything: truncate table
Table.
loading. This is the explanation. Okay,
Yeah.
so you no need to open this one. This task, what purpose we are using, you can easily understand. Come here, take the connection, truncate table emp loading. Click. Okay. So now I'm going to take one for each loop container. My agenda is, first I have to execute SQL task. Then if it is
Mm-hmm.
success, then only I want to move to this for each loop container.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you just click on this for each loop container. Under the collections, for each file enumerator we are going to take. Okay,
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
that. And in which folder your files are
Fine.
there? In this folder. The folder path you have to specify here.
Okay.
Okay, and what files you want to load? See here, There are text is there, XLSX files is there, different kind of files are there. So I want to load only XLSX files. If you are putting dot, it is trying to take all the files, whatever the files having dot symbol. So this file having dot x text txt, and this file having dot, and this file having dot, this file having dot. So it will recognize whatever the files having dot symbol with the name of the files. Okay, so every file should having these dots because they have extensions dot txt dot xlsx. So I want to load only xlsx files. Okay, so you have to mention dot xlsx. It will recognize only dot xlsx files. So this file, this file, this file, these three files only having dot xlsx, right?
Okay.
Okay, right. So first this will loop and it is trying to find out the first file. Okay, emp1.xlsx. So
Yeah.
the folder path slash this file name emp1.xlsx. So that information I want to put into that file, fully qualified file path I am going to put into one variable. So if you want to take this entire folder path slash the file.xlsx emp1.xlsx
Yeah.
is the fully qualified path. So these fully qualified path I want to store into one variable. So when it will take the fully qualified path, you have to select this one, retrieve the file name fully qualified. What about this name and extension? Name and extension means if you are selecting this one, it will take only file name dot extension.
Okay.
And if you want only file name, so you have to select the third one, this one. Okay, I don't want these two only, these are not enough for me. I want to take full path of that file. Okay, so first it will take emp1.xlsx. okay, it will keep that value into this variable. The second looping, it will take emp2. So the third looping, it will take emp3. In this way it will loop all the files. Understood?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yesterday we have seen from one variable. In that variable 14 values are there. One by one, one by one, one by one we are looping, right? The same.
Yeah.
In the folder we have some Excel files. File by file, file by file we are going to loop, and that file address we are going to take and keeping in inside the variable. Okay. First you have to create
Okay.
one variable. So
Yeah.
that variable name I'm going to give file path.
Fine.
So the data type we have to take string. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So just come here, give that variable here, file path variable. Understood what I did configure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Now you have to load the data from Excel file to SQL Server table. So if you want to do this ETL process, you have to take one data flow task inside here. Okay, so this
Okay.
data flow task, if you want to configure, whenever you are clicking on this data flow task, it will jump into this data flow. Okay, because
Yeah.
to connect to the Excel source and SQL Server table, and if you want to use any conversion, data conversion or transformations, so all these are existing in data flow only. Okay, see here, if
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
clicking on this data flow task or right click edit, it is jumping into data flow.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to come to data flow, you have to take one data flow task in the control flow. Okay,
Done.
come data flow. So what is
Source.
your source? My source is Excel source.
Excel.
Excel source. Right? So you just double click
Mm-hmm.
on this Excel source. So I want to create a new connection. So you have to browse one file first initially. Source, files, this file I'm going to browse. You can browse any file. Open.
Okay.
So that first row have the column names, right? In the Excel.
Yeah.
So, and you can take one sheet here. What is the sheet? So in that particular Excel, I have only one sheet. If you want to preview the data, what data existing in that sheet, you can preview the data. So this is the data we have in that file. Okay, close it.
Okay.
So what are the columns? Are
If you have it,
employee number, employee
sorry.
salary. Okay. If you want to
Yeah.
change the column name, yes, you can change it here also. I don't want to change anything. Okay. See, it is configured. So
Ram, I have a question.
yes.
Yeah. If you have it two sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2, you want to load both sheets at a time, you can give the sheet names like sheet 1 and sheet 2?
No,
How can it
that is
be?
a different case.
Okay.
Okay, that is
Different case. Okay. Okay.
so here we are loading one number of Excel files, multiple Excel files,
Mm-hmm.
but single sheet only.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So Excel connection you have taken. Now we have to take OLEDB destination. Okay, so before you are going to load this Excel data into this OLEDB SQL Server table, the data types should be matched. Whatever the data is coming from Excel source and the data types in the OLEDB destination should be matched. So basically the string data, whatever the string data is coming from the Excel. For example, in this Excel we have employee number, employee name, salary, right? So the employee name is a string characters. So that data is coming from Excel is NVARCHAR data. NVARCHAR means it's a Unicode data. Okay.
Yeah.
So if in your table, in your target table, the data type for employee name column is NVARCHAR only, no problem. You don't need to convert anything.
Okay.
If it is a varchar, that means non-Unicode data.
Yes. No. Non-Unicode.
So you have to convert this NVARCHAR into varchar. That means Unicode into non-Unicode.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So if you want to convert the data type, what kind of transformation you are going to take? Data conversion transformation. Okay, you just connect this one, double click here. See, these are the three columns coming from your first task, your source. Which column you want to convert? For example, employee number you want to convert? No, you don't need to convert. This is a appreciation float value, no need to. So this is the Unicode. Whatever the column having data type Unicode, so that you have to convert into string data type.
Okay.
And after you are converting the column, what is the column name you want to give?
New e name.
You can give any name. Yes, new.
Yeah. Yeah. Any.
Okay. And one more thing you have to remember here is the data length is 255 you have given here.
Mm-hmm.
But in your target table, the length you have given for that column is 100 only. So it will give a warning, truncation warning. Truncation means your incoming data type, column data type is 255, but your target is 100. So it is less than, it is greater than this one, but it should be always equal or less than. Okay, so you have to make
Okay.
either 100 or less than 100. Okay, click OK. So now we just connect here. So just come here and you have to create the connection here. So already we have a connection, you don't need to create the new connection. Okay, and what into which table you want to load the data? EMP loading. Where is the EMP loading?
Come down.
Okay, just come to mappings. So you have to map here which column you want to load into which column. Employee number I want to load into employee number. So if the column names are same, automatically it will map. If the column names are not same, it don't map. Okay, so basically this employee name column we are not going to load it because the original employee name, the data type is N.
Yeah.
We have converted this employee name into varchar, that is new employee name column, right? This you have to,
Yeah.
so you just drag and drop on this employee name, or you can map here also. For example,
Yeah. Yeah.
employee name we want to convert, see, based on whatever the mapping you are doing here, that is changing here. If
Okay.
you want to delete, you just
Okay.
here and delete. You
Okay.
can
Yeah,
like this way also.
can it allow to add more columns as well here?
More columns means you want to map
No. Adding the columns more. I mean, we are giving e-number, name, and salary. If I want to add another column, it doesn't.
yeah, if you want to add that, you have to add in here in this table,
Okay.
because these columns are nothing but whatever the columns existing in this table: employee number, employee
Okay.
name, salary.
Right.
The same three columns are coming here: employee number, employee name, salary. Okay, if you are adding one column here, then that will come here. Okay, click OK.
Okay.
Why? Yes, now it's gone. Okay, right. So if you are executing this one, what will happen? Tell me, can you guys please explain from starting onwards? It will execute,
For
it will execute the first
truncate the
task,
data.
it will truncate the data.
Yeah.
This for
Yes.
each loop container will loop 3 times, because we have 3 Excel files. So 3 times,
Yeah.
each time it will keep that file path in this variable, right? And it will execute the data flow task 3 times. Okay,
Yeah.
right click, execute the container. It is giving error. So what is the error? We just go to programs and you see the error message. So the Excel connection manager failed with the error. Yes, the acquire connection method call is error. This error, in what kind of scenarios we are getting is the first time whenever you are going to connect to the Excel connection manager, so you have to change the property in project properties. You just come to Solution Explorer, right click, properties, just right click, properties, come to debugging. You have to run this SSIS package in 32-bit. By default it is a true. Run 64-bit runtime. True means this package it is going to execute in 32 plus 64-bit runtime. So in the 64-bit runtime, SSIS is not recognizing the Excel connection managers. Okay, so you have to
Okay.
run this in the 32-bit motion. So if you are making this is fast, that means automatically it will run in 32-bit run motion. Okay, click apply, click OK. Now I'm going to execute this package.
Ram, if is it advisable to change this 64 to 34 in production server also?
Definitely, if you are not changing, it won't work. It won't connect to Excel.
Okay.
Okay.
But all remaining other project, all packages also converted to
Not an
32-bit, right?
yes, not an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Not an issue. Okay. Okay.
So see, it is executing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Check what data it is inserted here. See, first file, again first file, again first.
Yeah.
Same file it is loading 3 times, right? It is not loading the
Yeah.
second file and
Yeah.
third file. It is not loading this EMP2, EMP3. It is loading EMP1 3 times.
Okay.
That is not correct, right? Why it is loading three
Yeah.
times? So these for each loop container looping 3 times. Okay, so it is executing this data flow task 3 times. Why it is loading the EMP1 file 3 times? Because in this Excel connection, see, you have specified the file path only emp1.xls, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it is executing every time the same file.
Yes.
But the Excel file, the file path you are getting in this variable. Each time the different file name you are getting into this variable, right? So instead of giving the file emp1 directly here, the file path I'm going to take from this variable. Okay, so
Yeah.
how to pass dynamically the value, the file path. Okay, just come to this Excel connection. You just right click on this Excel connection, go to properties. Under these expressions, click here under the property Excel file path. So in the expressions, take that variable. What variable? File path variable.
Yeah.
Click OK.
Okay.
Click OK. Okay. And at the same time, you have to make the delay validation property true. The reason why we are making the delay validation property true means, if you are coming to this connection, see, just double click on this connection, nothing is there. There is no connection, because once the execution is started, once this package execution is started, this for each loop container will find out the path of that file and it will keep into this variable. Then only it will come, because we are going to pass the each file path from the variable. So that's why we are going to tell delay validation. Don't validate, this SSIS package will validate at the time of design whether the connection you have given is correctly properly or not. Okay, but here there is no connection, so that's why we are going to tell to SSIS, don't validate now. Once the execution is started, this variable will get the file path and then this connection will come the file path information. Okay, and for this data flow task also you have to make delay validation property true. And one more property you have to enable for this Excel source. Just click on the Excel source, validate external metadata. Don't validate, so you have to make false. Now you can execute. Right click, execute the container. See,
It's done.
one file,
Yeah.
second file, I think third file. Total
Yeah.
3 files it is loaded. Okay, so what I did here, initially the connection I have given for this Excel is directly emp1.x. I have given the path here. So now I don't want to give any connection. I want to pass that file paths from this variable. This variable. Okay. How can you pass a Excel file path connection for this one? Just right click, go to properties, under this expression. Okay. Excel file path. So this expression, this variable value I have passed, this variable, because this variable holds every time the file path, full path, the folder and the file. In the first looping emp1.xlsx, the second looping emp2, third one emp3. And you have to make the delay validation property true for this Excel connection, as well as this data flow task also you have to make delay validation property true, this data flow task. And at the same time, you just come to inside the data flow task and you just click on the Excel source. For this Excel source, you have to make validate external metadata false, initially it is
Yeah.
true. And this Excel connection also, you have to make the delay validation property true, initially it is false. Okay, then it will loop the files. Understood? Any confusion here? What are the properties? You have, once you are practicing, then it
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So this is the way you can loop many number of files. If you have a 10 files in the folder, it will loop 10 files. Okay.
Okay.
Just looping the file names. We are looping the file names, and that whatever the file name you are looping by using this for each loop container, that we are passing for this data flow task. And this data flow task is taking the source of that file, the path of that file, and each time it is loading the each file. Okay.
Okay. Why don't we use file system task
File system task is for what purpose?
for copying moving files?
It is moving file and copying file, but it is not taking the file path. Right?
Okay.
I need
Okay.
the file path because I want to pass the file path.
Okay.
Okay. File system
Yeah.
task just moving the physical structure of the file. Okay. It is not touching
Okay.
anything inside the content of the file,
Okay.
and it is not retrieving
Understand.
file path.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So the another requirement, my requirement is I want to create one temporary table. So basically in SQL Server, how can you create the temporary table? Create
Okay.
table
Temp.
as emp employee number integer, employee name varchar, and the salary integer. So this is the way you can create the temporary table.
Yeah.
If I want to insert some data into this temporary table, insert into
Insert
emp,
value.
I'm going to write down select start from emp, this
Loading.
emp number, employee name comma salary.
You
You know
can write
this
like
statement, it will insert
star.
this data, whatever the data is coming from this query, this entire this data it will insert into this temporary table, this statement. From one table into another table, if you want to copy the bulk data, so you have to write down this statement. Okay, first it will create one temporary table, and it will insert the data to this temporary table. So I'm going to put these two statements inside one execute SQL task. Okay. First take one sequence container. Inside this sequence container, take one execute SQL task. So inside this execute SQL task, you just okay, what this task will do, first it will create the temporary table,
Temp.
and it will insert the data
Then
from
insert in.
this table into this table, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now my requirement is, now this emp table, ash emp table having the data, what data? This data. Understood?
Yeah.
So that data I want to insert into emp loading table.
Okay.
How to load the data from this temporary table into emp loading? I want to use data flow task. Yes, you can write down directly inside the execute SQL task also, but I want to demonstrate you how to use a temporary table inside the data flow task. Okay, so take one data
Oh,
flow
okay.
task. Inside the data flow task, you have to take OLEDB source, because my source is a temporary table. Okay,
Yeah.
so you just click here. Where is the temporary table? How can you specify the temporary table?
Hash.
How can you take the temporary table? Because you didn't create the temporary table still, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't create any temporary table, but then
No. No.
once you are creating the temporary table, then only it will display the temporary table here.
Yes.
Okay,
Can you come again, please?
see here in this data flow task, in the OLEDB source, that means I'm going to connect to the SQL server. This is the
Yeah.
connection, and you have to specify the table. You don't have any table because you didn't create any temporary table still. You are just putting inside this execute SQL task. Once you are executing, then only it will create the temporary table, right?
Okay.
Until you don't get, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So instead of directly I am taking the table from here, I want to keep the table name inside a variable. See, I'm going to take
Yeah.
table name or view name.
Yeah.
Sorry, SQL command from sorry, table name or view name. Okay, so that table I'm going to put inside a variable. So you just create one variable name, table name, and this is a string. Okay, I'm going to put the temporary table is not a local temporary table. I'm going to put here global temporary table. Okay, the temporary table name is same name you have to give emp. Basically inside here we are going to create only local temporary table as emp.
Your screen is not coming up, like it's stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It is still with the OLDB source editor only.
Yeah,
Can you refresh it?
Um,
still it is in OLEDB.
It's still on the back only, just OLDB source editor.
Okay, I just stopped the session. I just stopped this screen sharing. I'm going to share once again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get the screen?
Yeah.
Execute
Yeah.
sequence editor.
yeah.
So here I'm going to create single hash local temporary table. Single hash means local
Yeah.
temporary table. But
Yeah.
inside this variable, I have mentioned the same name, but it's a global temporary table. Okay. So you have to create a temporary table with the global temporary table with the same column names and the same table name. Okay. So you just
Okay.
create here. I have created. Okay, just come inside here and the same connection you have to use. You have to enable this MSBI, go to properties, retain the same connection true. What is this? So once you are opening the connection, MSBI connection for this task, I don't want to close this connection. I want to use the same connection for this one also. Basically,
Okay.
if you are not making true this property, this connection, retain same connection means if you are making false, what will happen? In this execute SQL task, we have used this MSBA connection, right? This connection. So it is opening the connection, and once the execution is done for this execute SQL task, that connection it is
It's
closed.
disconnect.
Again, for this data flow task, inside the OLEDB source, you are going to open this connection. So I don't want to open again. I don't want to close that connection in the execute SQL task. Okay, I want to use the same connection. I want to keep that connection in open status because the temporary tables, once you are closing this connection, it will disappear. Understood?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here, just come to data flow task. Now go here and take the data access from the variable. What is the variable? You have created the table name variable. Okay.
Okay.
Columns. So this employee number, employee name, salary. So now take one OLEDB destination. To which table you want to load the data? I want to load the data into EMP loading tool. Mappings. Yes, done mapping. Because the column names are so. If you are loading, if you are executing this one, what will happen? It will create one local temporary table and it will insert into the local temporary table. And if this data flow task is trying to load the data from global temporary table from this table, but there is no data for this table because we are going to insert the data into this table. Okay, now just change inside the variable from global to local. Understood? Now I'm going to introduce. We have to make delay validation property true also. Right click. We have loaded the data. I'm going to type in this. Right click. Execute. We have configured by mistake. Right click. Execute the. The data is coming into EMP. So what I did here, here I have written hash EMP and I have inserted from the EMP table into temporary table. I have mentioned the two statement and come to data filters. Inside the data filters, usually we can't take the table directly. Okay, for that, I'm going to take the table from the variable. What table you want to take here? I want to store the table inside the variable. The variable name is table variable. So initially I have given global temporal table. So I have created the global temporal table with the same structure as the local temporal table. Okay. So once the configuration is over, each of the variable I have changed the from the global temporary to local temporary table. Understood? And this data code has delay validation property I have mentioned. Then you can drop the global temporary table. You don't need to use the global temporary table. That global temporary table is used for configuration. Once your configuration is done, you can drop the table. Because we are using local temporary table.
Ram, your voice is breaking.
Oh, voice is breaking. This is only for you or
No, no, for myself as well.
oh, you are also getting the same issue? I think network issue. Right, so almost ending the session. Okay. So please practice these two things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I did. So you just watch this video and practice. Okay, and then if you are
Yeah, yeah.
getting any doubts, then we will discuss.